Today, I want to run you through my broker of choice, which is Interactive Brokers. With the recent downturn in the markets across the globe, especially the massive drop in corrections in crypto and new regulation coming out against crypto, more and more people are slowly going back into stock and ETF investing. And for that, using Interactive Brokers is probably one of the best choices you can make to do so. Interactive Brokers is available in over 200 countries. And even though it's not commission free, it actually has one of the lowest commissions out there, plus the fact that you're gonna get some of the best exchange rates. So if you don't buy in your native currency, that really helps you. Plus a very low spread, the difference between the buy and ask price. So really, despite the small commission, actually it turns out to be one of the cheapest brokers you can use. To get started and sign up is very easy. Just use my link in the description below and you'll be up and running in a matter of minutes. Plus, if you use my link, you can get up to $1,000 worth of Interactive Brokers stock. In terms of trading, they have quite a few platforms that you can choose from. For beginners, I really recommend the IBKR Global Traders app, which makes it quite simple and removes a lot of the friction, because in general, Interactive Brokers is not the slickest interface, but that app really simplifies a lot of the process and is really recommended for beginners to just get started. Then there's the web version, the client portal, which is what I'm going to run you through today. And then there's also the Interactive Brokers mobile app. So it's the same experience as on the web, a bit more complicated and you have more options if you need to. So definitely, if you're a more advanced trader, you can use the app as well. And lastly, of course, they have the TradeStation, but that's really clunky and not something I use. That's mostly for day traders. With this, let's hop over into my account. And there we are. So that's basically the dashboard with which you're going to be greeted with. First time you log in, obviously you're not going to be having any money in there, but that's my total net holdings, as you can see over here. Nicely to see some green finally. But again, I don't really log in every day. And that's why I also recommend you use the web version. Don't use the app and check every single day, because stocks fluctuate, right? But here you don't want to do day trading. You want to do long-term investing. And for that, Interactive Brokers is really the best. It's not really for meme stock trading, but for serious long-term investors, buy and hold. That's why using the web interface, I'm less tempted to check every single day and then feel bad if it goes down or not. I just want to see every few months and then ideally over the years, the growth over time. One little hack, your screen might actually look white. So if you click over here on your name, you can change it from light to dark, depending on what you like. I always like dark mode, so yeah, just makes it nice and clean. Right, so let's start off. You have your portfolio over here, so that's basically your cash holdings. So from here, you can either deposit more, withdraw more, pretty self-explanatory, or you can also click on more, and from here you can convert. So as you can see here, I have Euro holdings and USD holdings. You can have a number of additional holdings if you wanted to, or you can also convert. So you would click here, convert currency, and from here you can just choose what you have and what you want to convert to. One thing though I have to mention, is a little bit cumbersome, and that's the fact that you can only change to your base currency. So for example, if I try to change my euros into USD over here, and if I try to enter, let's say 100 euros into US dollars, and then I would click on preview, and then you can see FX conversions only allowed to base currency only. So basically that's not working. So that's a bit of a shame. And as I understand, that was imposed by the European banks. So in fact, if you wanted to do such a transaction, you would have to go into settings, I'll show you in a second, to change your base currency, let's say to dollars, and then you could do the same transaction. But in case I wanted to exchange some of my USDs into my base currency, which is currently euros, I would do that. And then I would say 100 USD, and then I would click on preview, and boom, I could do that transaction. So because I'm changing into my base currency, I can't change out of the base currency. Sadly not. I hope they will change it eventually, but as I understand, it's not Interactive Brokers' fault. That's because of local legislation. And that's why it's important when you set up your account, really think what are the stocks or ETFs you want to trade in and what currency are they in? Are they mostly in USD? Then it probably makes sense to make your base currency USDs, because then you will deposit either pounds or euros into your Interactive Brokers account, and then you can do the exchange into dollars right here. It will be very fast. As for me, my biggest holding is a euro-based ETF, and that's why my base currency actually remains in euros. Right, then we have the dashboard over here. So that's something you can customize as you wish. You can click over here, add or edit any widgets. So you can add or remove any as you wish. But for me, I'm really happy with them. I have some news for me, my top portfolio positions, any transactions I've done recently, any deposits or etc. And then I have a little column on cryptocurrencies. So if you wanted to trade cryptocurrencies, you could do that through Interactive Brokers as well, even though I prefer using other platforms for that. But you could, if you wanted to, any trades you've recently done, plus any of your company events. So any of your holdings, any of the events they have, dividend, release dates, etc., they'll be listed here as well. Right, so from that, then we're going to move over to portfolio, which is obviously where the magic happens, or not in my case. As you can see previously, I've seen you a bit of green numbers, but then I see my total unrealized P&L. Sadly, it's very much in the minus. So my biggest position obviously is the VUSA, which is S&P 500 ETF from Vanguard, which is my biggest position, almost 10,000 euros at the moment. Then I have some Google stocks, some Apple stocks, some BlackRock shares, and lastly, I bought recently just for fun some Amazon, but just to see how fractional stocks work on Interactive Brokers. So you don't have to buy an entire share, you can just buy a fractional share. So that's really great that Interactive Brokers offers that option as well. So yeah, on an aggregate, I'm down 1,500 euros. So not the best of returns, but again, I'm a long-term investor, and in 5-6 years, it will definitely look different. Otherwise, I think we're all gonna have a problem if the market's still gonna be down in 5-6 years from now. From here, you can also quickly visualize your performance. So it can show you different graphs, how it's going over time, what are your sectors in, etc. You can have your cash report if you wanted to see that, and your impact dashboard. So that's something very interesting where you can create your own impact dashboard based on ESG investing. So you can basically do a survey, a questionnaire. First time it asks you what's important for you, what are the values. Do you want to invest in oil companies that have good courses such as ocean life oriented, sustainable product lifestyle, etc. So it's a good questionnaire that runs you through, and then obviously it scores all your holdings, and you can quickly see whatever I bought, most of it is pretty much in line with my values as an investor. But you don't have to do this. It's just a nice add-on that Interactive Brokers offers. Right, and from here I can basically directly go into my respective instruments. So let's click into my ETF, VUSA, and then I can see here obviously how the situation is unfolding. I can see here the current price, how the price has been developing, the difference between the ask and bid price. And here it's very good because a lot of the other brokers that are commission free, they say they're commission free, but the difference between the bid and ask price is very big. And that's basically the margin where they make money. So you basically overpay what is the actual market price, and they charge you a higher price. And that's the difference that they pocket and you lose basically. So yeah, hidden commission, which Interactive Brokers is known to have some of the tightest spreads out there, which is very good to know. You can quickly see here by the flag also where the stock or ETF is based on. When I click on it, you can see here AEB stands for Amsterdam Stock Exchange, and L for Netherlands. So I can see, okay, that is based in Netherlands, because in some brokers on the apps, you don't even know where the stock is based, where you're buying. And for me, it's very important to know where I buy it, where it's based, and what will happen to the stock exchange if it goes bust, etc. So for me, that's quite powerful to know. Then obviously you have the graph over here that you can change. You can change the settings also if you wanted to. You can change the frequency over here. You can change the charting. For example, if you wanted to have a simpler, just a line, you can do that as well. You can add some more indicators if you wanted to, some average, etc. So yeah, really powerful graphing and charting tool. You can have it full screen if you wanted to. So a lot of options to play around with. But for most people, just a simple charting price is probably all they're after. And then I can just quickly go over here and let's say for 5 years and see how it develops. And obviously, that's a nice price development, which right now I'm on a downward trend. But if you would have bought a couple of years ago, even back here in 19, I would have been significantly up already. And that's my goal, to invest dollar cost average every single month over the long term and grow my portfolio accordingly. Right, so down here you have a few more key financials that you can see at a glimpse, what's happening, volatility, the opening price, any dividends if there is, your transaction history. So you can see my last dividend payment was actually end of December. 35 euros, so not too bad. And I can see here on average that particular ETF has a dividend yield of 1.4%. So that's really nice. That is being paid to me. It's a distributing ETF. There are also accumulating ETFs that automatically reinvest. So it's up to you which one you prefer. And then from here, I would also either buy or sell my respective shares of that particular stock if I wanted to. But right now, I'm fine with the holdings. Instead, I want to research a bit, so I would click here on research, and then I can see even more information about it. And that's really powerful with Interactive Brokers, much more powerful than many other brokers or apps out there, because you really have a wealth of content information here for you free of charge, basically, because there is no monthly fee to use Interactive Brokers, and that's given to you for free. So even if you just sign up and not invest, you still get much more information than you would get on free websites like Yahoo Finance, etc. So here you can really see the fund objective overview, the style of the matrix, key profiling case, and the impact, again, in line with my own values, the overall ESG ratings, the holdings, what are the top 3 holdings. Obviously, these are the 500 biggest companies in USA. So that includes Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, plus many more. I can click into here and then it takes me into it exactly what I can see here, the top 10, the industry allocations, the country allocations. Obviously, majority of them are based in the US. Then there's a small percentage in Ireland because it's actually a European domiciled ETF. So yeah, some really good insights over there. If I go back to overview, I can see also the performance. As I said over here, for the last 5 years, if you would have invested, you would have had a 78% return without doing anything. Basically, you just invest every single month and you generate such a good return. So that's really the power of ETF investing. It shows you the dividends, any recent news. So that's a just snapshot overview. And then over here, you can really dive into each individually, what is interesting for you, the profile and fees, analyst ratings, performance. So I don't want to go into every single one, otherwise the video will be too long, but you can look for yourself. But it's really powerful. For example, holdings we've seen before, I can see here for each individual ETF, and it doesn't have to be the VUSA. It can be any other ETF, and it's a good way to do some research before you buy a particular ETF or stock. I also like the dividend section over here, which shows you, over time how it's been growing, the payout ratio, the industry comparison. So really, really nice overview there as well. And yes, you could do this for any other stock if you wanted to. For example, let's go into Amazon and I can show you how that looks. So you just pop Amazon over here. Sometimes that can be a little bit confusing because you see options, you see other things, but always click on stock. Even for the ETF, always click on stock, and that's the one you want. So you can see over here, again, obviously Amazon is based in the NASDAQ in the US. So you'll see that over here. Once again, I have all the other information over there. And from here, I can go into research and I could go also into ownership, for example. And I would see immediately who are the owners of Amazon stocks. And the biggest holder over here, who would have guessed, is Vanguard Group, which is one of the biggest ETF providers in the world. Obviously, they invest a lot of money, including Amazon, because they buy big market index such as the S&P 500, where obviously Amazon plays a big part in. So yeah, that's really good to see. Individual holders as well, how much they hold. So very powerful insights that maybe other platforms wouldn't necessarily give you. Analyst forecasts, for example, also, so you can see here, what people think where the price might be heading in the future, and many other things. Right, if I wanted to buy a bit of Amazon, I would just simply go over here on buy. And from here, it's very straightforward. I can either sell or buy. Obviously, I want to buy. And then I can buy shares. So that would show, for example, if I buy one share, that would be $99.50. But if I wanted to buy a fractional share, I would just click over here on USD. And from there, I would just say how much I want to buy. So let's say I want to buy shares worth $10. That would be 0.1 share of Amazon. So that's good. You don't have to buy a full share because some of the shares, they cost up to $1,000, $2,000, and you may not want to invest that much money, but you can buy from as little, I believe, as even $1. But in this very example, let's use $10. You can change the order type if you wanted to, but usually I leave it at the market order because I want my order to be executed right then and there. Right, so if I'm happy with this, I can click on preview and I will see just one more confirmation before buying. In total, it will cost me $10.10. If I'm fine with this, I will go ahead and transmit. Now, the US markets are actually not open at the moment of making this video. As it says over here, it's pre-submitted. So as soon as the stock market in the US will open, that order will be executed at the most recent market price. So as it's a small amount, I don't really care, if it might fluctuate or not. So I'm just going to say done. And boom, it will be in my order sheet. And you might notice over here in the trade section, actually, there's now a red dot, which wasn't the case before. So if I click into this, I will see here orders and trades. I click on that and I will see over here the orders which are not yet executed. So I can see here once again, is it filled or not? Obviously it's not filled because it's closed. It's pre-submitted and it will obviously be executed. So previously I've done the same. I bought before the opening and then obviously it was filled during the day. And yeah, so it's very straightforward. Once it's executed, you will get a notification. You can turn that on. Obviously I want this to be on. Right, other than that, you also have the research tab over here. So various things you can go through, such as market scanner, which can be quite interesting. If you just wanted to start, looking for specific stocks in specific countries, you can really, kind of filter your way through and find the stock or ETF that you're looking for. You can do from here also transfer and pay. That's very interesting. If you already have a stock position with another broker somewhere else, you can go into transfer positions and transfer if your current broker allows you to. And that's something very important when you sign up with a new broker, the ability that they let you to transfer your current holdings to another broker, because you never know what happens to your current broker. You want to have the option and opportunity to transfer your holdings to another broker, and Interactive Brokers allows you to transfer out your portfolio to another broker, but at the same time also transfer your holdings from another broker into Interactive Brokers. And that's really powerful. And always make sure when you sign up with a new broker, it doesn't have to be Interactive Brokers, but that they give you that option, because that's really important and future-proofs yourself, because you don't want to build up a huge position with that broker and one day they go bust. Having the opportunity and ability to transfer it seamlessly is super powerful. I did the same with Revolut previously. Many other brokers give you that opportunity, but not every single one. So then you would come into here, transfer assets into Interactive Brokers account, and then basically select where your broker was based. And from here, it walks you through the process. And I've done a whole video showing you the entire process, how exactly to do this. And you can find this video in my Interactive Brokers playlist. Then obviously over here, I have also some more performance and reports where you can go through Portfolio Analyst, which gives you a bit more insights and details into how your portfolio is actually doing. And that can be quite insightful to kind of see, how things are developing, where you invested in, and just a bit more deep dive and really quite a nice summary. You can customize it as you wish, portfolio checkups. So really some powerful graphs and analytics that gives you better insights in how you're doing basically, and a good overview of how your overall investments are doing. From here, you can also pull your statements, which is good, that potentially you want to send to your accountant if you needed to, your trade confirmations, any of your activities. You can click also over here on your tax report and then download it and then send it off to your accountant or use it when you do your own taxes. So really powerful all-in-one solution. And lastly, a good section on education. So you can see a couple of videos, how to become a better trader, etc. So if you wanted to get started, really some good insights as well. But of course, alternatively, you can just keep on watching this channel, subscribe so you never miss a video and become a better investor in the process. Or maybe not, as you saw based on my returns. And lastly, of course, you have your settings, which you're going to find over here if you click into the settings. And from here, you can change quite a few things. Obviously, most importantly is going to be your base currency. So if you wanted to change that, you would just click into here and then change from euros to whatever you want. And there you have it. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments below. I get back to every single one of you. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. Next up, check out the video over here where I'm going to give you a whole list of other stockbrokers that might be of interest to you. Thanks a lot for watching. As always, stay healthy, get wealthy, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.